It is time for an update on the kittens. So let's come down here, see how they're all doing. Oh, there's the mama in there. There's all the kittens. So the sad news is, there was one kitten that was really tiny when it was born, and it stayed really skinny and tiny, and it didn't make it. It died about on the 4th day. The rest of them all look very robust and are doing really well. They're quite heavy now, and their eyes are just starting to open up. They look very sleepy. There's the mama. Hey. Hey, kitty. Yeah, so, hello. The mother's still drooling. She's still on her meds. But she's doing well. She's gaining weight. Looking really good now. I gotta wipe that drool off your face. Do I have a tissue here? Here. Let me wipe that drool from your face. Yeah, wipe that drool. There, that's a little less drool. Yeah, so hopefully she'll get even healthier. She's gaining weight. She's much happier. Grooming herself. The kittens are doing really well. She's being a really good mom. Right, kitty? You're a very good mother. Look at that face down there. Yeah, so exciting. The kittens are starting to walk around a bit. Their eyes are opening, and they're all looking good. So that's the update. 5 kittens and the mother.
Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Welcome to the Bonsai Zone. I spent all of this morning cleaning scale off all my ficus and schefflera. That job is done, so now I can work on a tree.
Here's a look at the trees I worked on this morning. I started with my ficus plane, a ficus microcarpa. I call plain because it has no aerial roots or anything. It's a plain looking tree. And it's kind of got a shallow umbrella canopy on it. It needs pruning. I could do that today, and I might. I also descaled my tiger bark ficus, the root over rock one, which is growing really, really well. My ficus religiosum, a medium-sized one here, which is also growing very well. And I did my schefflera, the dragon-style schefflera, which also needs pruning. It's getting rather top-heavy. So I could work on any of these trees or a different one. I do have to prune my Serissa, which is over in the greenhouse here. So this one needs pruning. You can see how long it's getting quite shaggy. I could leave it a little longer, but I just don't want, my lower branches getting shaded out. And I've also noticed there's some ants on it. And if you have ants on a tree, that usually means either aphids or scale. I'm trying to show, there's an ant. Oh, there was, crawling around there. And so I went in here and I was looking, and I noticed that every now and then you can see a little scale blister on it. I don't know if you can see in there. One right there I'm just scraping off. So I think my other trees are descaled, the ficus, the scheffleras. I think I better get to this one. So I'm going to pull it out and work on my Serissa today. All these trees can go back in the greenhouse. Here is a look at the tree on the turntable. You can see it's getting quite long. So I think someday this back is going to become the front. I think it's just a more pleasing trunk line, I think. However, that would be for the future. So I always had a big space here that's starting to fill in. Some of these branches are growing out now, which is nice. I had some dieback here and had to kind of take a major branch off. The end of it anyway, so that was a little scary, that dieback, but we'll try and keep the tree healthy. I think getting rid of the scale insects is the first step. So I'm going to start today. I'm going to give the tree a good water, make sure it's well hydrated, and then I'll start the work on the structure of the tree, the branches. Getting that canopy pruned back, and then I'll have to treat it for scale. I'll try and scrape the blisters by hand, but this tree has so many branches. It has probably thousands of branches now. So it's going to be quite a task. And usually with the small scale insects, the soap and water kills them. It penetrates the little shell and kills them off. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think the leaves are tough enough on the Serissa that if I spray with the soap and water, it won't hurt the leaves. I'm going to check an older video to make sure, but I know they are a little sensitive, but if I dilute the soap and water down so it's maybe a little more watery, hopefully it has enough power to kill the scale insects and not affect the leaves. I just saw an ant crawling around in here. Right in there. And there was another one over here. Right here. Just little ants. Alright, it's time to give the tree a water. You can tell when it needs water. You can see the new shoots are going a bit limp. There's some over here. And once you water it, they straighten up again. Alright, here I go with the water. Give it a cool drink. Water from above first, and then get down here and water all the soil. So it's draining really well. There's no problem with it, you know, too many roots in the pot or anything yet. So it's good. I'm going to start the pruning today from above, getting my oval shape. You can see it's fairly even, all the new growth. So I should be able to extend the outer profile of the canopy a bit. I want to do it incrementally, so you know, I started off way back here initially. Each time I prune it, I grow it a little bit longer. That way you don't get these long shoots growing to the outer profile of the canopy. You get all these zigzag branches. Gives it character. It just takes many, many years. So that's where I'm going to start. You can see there's some extra long shoots here, so I'll prune it back somewhere to about, you know, this level all the way around. Just taking off the longest shoots. Then after that, I'll profile the canopy. All right, before I begin, I'm just going to clean my blue scissors with soap and water. And just kind of get all the sap and that off them so they're nice and clean. I never thought these blue scissors would be so important to clip and grow bonsai, but they are. Just having that large shear for doing profile pruning, they're tremendous. These aren't the greatest quality scissors. They're just, you know, from your big box hardware stores. So maybe someday I'll look around for a real nice pair of shears that I can do this kind of pruning with. And, you know, the blue color, that's more for blue jay bonsai. I need more of a red pair of scissors or shears. But these work quite well, and you know, you can sharpen them when they get dull. There's no problem. They don't cut through really thick material, but most of the time I use them, it's just kind of trimming small trees at the edges, so they work really well. Okay, so those are cleaned up, ready to cut. So here I go. I'm going to begin my profile pruning. So I'm going to start right here. So I want an oval shaped, longer, left to right, shorter front to back. So here I go. I think about here. So coming around the front now. So it always seems when you're doing this, you know, you're growing your canopy larger and then you cut it back. It's like 2 steps backwards and 1 step forward, which is good. I mean, that's what you want. Slowly increase it. So as I said, you get taper, movement to your branches so they're not just straight. Okay, I'm just checking my profile here. Back a little more there. I'm good here. A little more off here. And some more off this corner. It's too long. I think that's looking quite nice. I'm just looking from above, checking the profile. Maybe a little heavier here still. Just spin it around. I missed one sticking out the back here. Okay. Am I happy with that? Just checking it from all angles. Looks like a good oval to me. All right, let's go down to the front view now. Here is a look at the tree from the front view now, and you can see it doesn't look as nice without the extensions off the end here. But you don't want to grow just a few. You want to grow the whole canopy out evenly, so that's why I prune that oval shape. It keeps the overall shape of the canopy under control, and then you grow it out slowly. So you just have to be patient. Right now, it looks really heavy because of all the growth on top. So there's 2 goals from this view. I'm trying to get the curvature on the underside of the canopy and the curvature on the top. So I want a thin layer of foliage, and then I want it broken up into pads too. I don't want it just one big dome, so you can see it's all grown in, so you can't see any branch separation anymore. So that's another goal, is to get that branch separation. I've raised the camera so you're looking in at the side view of the canopy. So I'm going to start underneath, trying to get that curved shape underneath first, and then I can kind of match it on top. I'm looking at the front view from where I'm sitting. You'll be kind of looking at a 3/4 view, so there's the front. So I'm going to try and raise the canopy underneath here, where I can. So any foliage that's hanging down low, I can prune off, as long as I still keep my outer profile. So here's a branch going out the bottom I can take off, raising the canopy profile in the middle. There's a new shoot way back in here I can remove. Again, that'll raise the green canopy up higher. So this green line has to go all the way through, right to the back of the tree. I don't want any foliage hanging down on the inside of the tree either. So it's got to be a pretty clean line. There's a branch hanging down here. I'm going to prune that back. I do want, the outer edges of this canopy to kind of create that rounded shape. So eventually, I'll encourage growth down lower, and it'll give me that really nice umbrella, the Pierneef Style. Now, out the back, let's go to the back profile. So I want the same green line here, the curved line, the Pierneef Style. So I'm also trying to close this gap in here. You can see I removed a major branch here that died off. So that was too bad, but you just got to try and fix it. There's a shoot on the inside here. I can remove a low one like that. There's a few low leaves here. I can just pull them off. There's some leaves higher up on the branch. I don't need these low ones. So again, I'm looking for my curved branch structure here. I'm going to take this one out. This one, I'll I'll just remove the lower leaves. It's getting better. Okay, I'm still, if you look at the green line here, it's nice here, but I'm still too heavy here, so I've got to do something. The secret to growing branches in the spots that you want them to grow is to give them light, so they can extend out, get a spot of sunlight, and gain vigor. A branch that's in the shadow is not going to grow. It's just going to wither away and die out. I've got a hanging branch here. See this one? And it doesn't really match the rest of the tree. I want these branches to come out and then kind of hang. I don't want it to come up and then kind of abruptly hang. So I think that one's got to come out. Yeah. So here it goes. I'm taking it right off. Like that. There's a branch coming off here low that I don't need. I can take that one off. I've got better ones above. Okay. I think that's all I can do for this bottom curve shape at the back. So there it is from the front. It's looking better. It's getting there. When I initially started putting this curve in underneath the canopy, I thought I could do it quicker than I actually can. It's taking quite a while to get this curve shape in place. It might take several years before I get a curve that I'm really happy with. I've got a few suckers in here coming up from the roots that I'm going to prune away next. All right, let's come in, find the base of the sucker, and prune it away. And there's another one coming here, coming up here, like that. So that gets that in check. All right, it is blue scissors time again. I'm going to do the profiling to the top of the canopy. All right, so here I go. I'm going to get the front facing me, and I'm going to come in. I'm going to get my height first. So I think somewhere in about here will be the height of my canopy. So here I go. Blue scissor time. So I want to get it as low as I can and still have good green shoots, good green leaves here. So I think that's about as low as I can go in the center here. So there's a look at it. I'll just level that out a bit. There's that Serissa smell. It's not the most pleasant smell in the world, but okay, so I've got it flat on top. That's my height. Now I've got to do some rounding. So I've got to round the canopy a bit. So here I go on that. Very exciting. Here's what it's looking like so far. Quite nice. So that curve on the underside really allows me to get a thin canopy. Before I had that curve on the underside, my canopy always looked heavy. And so now it looks lighter and, yeah, more like a Pierneef style. It's quite nice. It's exciting, in fact. Yeah, that's looking really, really nice. There's a look at the front. So I'm just going to do a little trimming at the back here now.
which eventually will be the front someday. Once it develops a little more and I go to repot it. But not yet. So from the front view, you can see the canopy is quite well balanced. The left and right hand side is about the same height from the ground. If I rotate it to the back, you can see it's not. I'm too low over here. So I've got to kind of allow this to grow in, remove some of the lower branches, and eventually fix that from the back view, which will become the front someday. But I think it's looking really nice. I'm very pleased with the development of this tree. So I'll get it cleaned up and then we'll have a look at it in the sun. Here's a look at the tree cleaned up and in the sun. I'll fly in and show you some different views of it. My next step is to spray the tree for scale insects. So I'll use soap and water, just liquid dish soap, 1 part liquid dish soap to 40 parts water. I'll spray it all around and then give it a good thorough rinse. So here I go. I'll get up above and spray it. And that should be good. I'll let that sit for a few minutes, then I'll give it a thorough rinsing. All right, here I go with the rinse cycle. I made a lot of progress on my Serissa today, but I still have a lot of pruning to go. I've got to separate the branches so there's negative space between them, some separation, and I've run out of time tonight, so I'll have to do that tomorrow in part 2. So that's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.